Hello students, welcome to Management Accounting class. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the identification of flow of funds and the treatment of various items. Okay, first we'll discuss about how we can identify whether there is a flow of funds or change in working capital. To identify whether particular transaction results into flow of funds or change in working capital, the following procedure we need to follow. Okay, the first step in the procedure is pass a journal entry for the transaction. Okay, whatever transaction is given, first we have to pass the journal entry. After passing the journal entry, we have to analyze the two accounts involved in the journal entry. And later, third step is we need to identify the flow of funds by applying the following general rules. Okay, so there are total 3 general rules in case of identifying whether there is a flow of funds. The first one is transactions which involve only current accounts do not result into flow of funds. For example, say when the debtors are realized, the journal entry will be bank account debit to debtors account. Okay, now this is the first step, that we have to pass a journal entry. After passing the journal entry, we have to analyze what the two accounts involved in the journal entry. Now here in this case, in this journal entry, first account is what? Bank account, and bank account is which account? Current account. Okay, and the second one is to debtors account, that is credit is what? Current account. Even debtors is also current account. So in this case, both the accounts are current accounts, and hence there is a no flow of funds or no change in working capital. Okay, when there will be both the accounts are current accounts in that transaction, then the transaction does not result into flow of funds. This is the first rule. Second rule, transaction which involve only non-current accounts do not result into flow of fund. This is one. Second one, B. Transaction which involve only non-current accounts do not result into flow of funds. Just like a first one, like how there were two current accounts, like both the current accounts, and hence there is no flow of funds. The same way, when any journal entry or transaction involve both the non-current account, then result is no flow of funds or no change in working capital. Okay, now we'll discuss this example here. See, when shares are issued to the vendor for purchase of building. Okay, firm is purchasing the building from a vendor, and for that in return they are not paying them a cash, they are issuing the shares. Okay, in this case the journal entry is building account debit to share capital account. Okay, now we have to again apply the second rule, second procedure step. What is that? Analyze the two accounts involved. Now building account is non-current account, that is fixed account. Share capital account, again it is a non-current account, and both the accounts are non-current account, hence the result is no flow of funds. Okay, so this is the second rule. The third rule is C. Transactions which involve both current and non-current accounts result into flow of funds. For example, when shares are issued for cash, the journal entry will be bank account debit to share capital account. Okay, now here the first one is bank account, which is current account. Bank account is current account. Okay, next one to share capital account. This is non-current account. Okay, share capital account is what? Non-current account. Now this transaction involve both current account as well as non-current account, and hence there is a flow of funds or flow of working capital. Understood? Now you may say how there is a flow of fund. Now see here, when the shares are issued for cash, the amount of cash is going to increase, the firm is going to increase, a firm's cash is going to increase. Increase in cash leads to increase in current asset, and increase in current assets leads to what? Increase in working capital. When there is increase in the current assets, automatically there will be increase in working capital, and therefore it is a flow of funds. Understood? Okay, so these are the general rules we need to follow while identifying whether there is a flow of funds or no. Okay, now next one is treatment of various items in the preparation of funds flow statement. Okay, so how we can treat the certain items when we prepare the funds flow statement? Now we are going to discuss that. The first one is provision for taxation and proposed dividend. Okay, this provision for taxation and proposed dividend we can treat in two ways. Okay, but now as per the Companies Act 2013, provision for taxation and proposed dividend is treated as current liabilities. Okay, and once you treat these both the items as current liabilities, it will appear in the schedule of changes in working capital like all other current liabilities. And once any current liability appear in schedule of changes in working capital, then no further treatment is required while preparing funds flow statement. Okay, earlier we had a provision that we can treat this non-current items and we can take it in funds from operations. Okay, and second treatment will be in fund flow statement. But now it is mandatory as per 2013 Act, Companies Act, that we have to treat provision for taxation and proposed dividend as current liabilities itself. And once you treat that current liabilities, it has to be appear in schedule of changes in working capital. Okay, and no further treatment is required while preparing funds flow statement. I hope you clear with this. Next one is interim dividend. Now what do you mean by interim dividend? It is the dividend paid or declared by a company between two annual general meeting is called as interim dividend. Okay, and this interim dividend is considered as non-operating expenses or non-fund item. Therefore it is to be add back to the profit while calculating funds from operations, and it will appear on the application side of the funds flow statements. Okay, interim dividend, where it will come? While calculating funds from operations, we have to add back this interim dividend to the net profit. And the second impact of this transaction will be in the funds flow statement on the application side. Okay, next, third one, provision against current assets. For example, provision for loss on stock, bad debts and doubtful debts, etc. So such provisions should be deducted from opening and closing value of such current assets, and the net amount of current asset should be shown in the schedule of changes in working capital. And once if you take any item in the schedule of changes in working capital, no any further treatment in the funds flow statement. And suppose if the excess provision has been created, it may be treated as appropriation of profits and should be added to the profit while calculating funds from operations. Okay, now you may say like how we can deduct this balance from opening and closing value of such current assets. Now for example, here is like we create provision for doubtful debt, that is reserve for doubtful debt. So whatever reserves is created for sundry debtors, that RDD we have to deduct from the sundry debtors, and the final amount we have to take in schedule of changes in working capital. That's it. Okay. Next, fourth one is investment. There are two types of investment. First one is temporary investment. So temporary investment is an current assets. If it is a current asset, it will appear where? In schedule of changes in working capital. Okay. Now second one is long term investment. if it is a long-term investment, we have to identify whether there is a purchase of long-term investment during the particular year or there is a sale of long-term investment. If there is a purchase of long-term investment, then it will come in funds flow statement, which side? Under the application of funds. Okay, and if there is a sales of long-term investment, then it will come again in funds flow statement, and which side? Under the sources of funds. Okay, now next one is fixed assets. Here in case of assets, we need to prepare what, like even for investment we can prepare a ledger account. So when we prepare a ledger account, we have to take opening and closing balances of assets, and then like if there is a depreciation, that we have to pass the we have to post that journal entry into the ledger of depreciation. And if there is a sale of asset, that entry also we have to pass. If there is any other expenses that related to fixed asset, that we have to record in the ledger account, and then we have to find the balance. Okay, then there we will identify whether there is a sale of fixed asset or purchase of fixed asset. Okay, when we solve the problem, you will understand this point thoroughly. Suppose if there is a sale of fixed asset, then again it will appear in funds flow statement under sources of funds. Okay, and if there is a purchase of fixed asset, then it will appear again in funds flow statement under the application of funds. And suppose if there is a loss on sale of fixed asset, then that loss we have to add back in the profit while calculating funds from operations. And if there is a profit on sale of fixed asset, then that amount we have to deduct from profit while calculating funds from operations. The result is both these items are non-operating items, that is non-operating expenses. The first one is non-operating expenses, this is loss on sale of fixed asset, and second one is profit on sale of fixed asset is non-operating income. So we have to exclude both the expenses as well as losses while calculating funds from operation. And the next one is premium on redemption of preference shares and debentures. If there is a premium on redemption of preference shares and debentures, then it is added back to the profit while calculating funds from operations. Okay, and the same it will appear in the funds flow statement under the application of funds. Okay, so this is the general rules or the treatment of various items in the preparation of funds flow statement. I hope you understood. In the next class, we will be calculating, we will be starting the problems on preparation of schedule of changes in working capital. Okay, thank you.